When I was about 12 years old, I had a best friend that I spent very much time with. There was a period when we hanged out almost every day. We did all kinds of things together. Playing Wii, sleepovers, went on adventures in the nearby neighborhoods. Her name was Sarah and was exciting to hang out with, she being the more adventurous type. She lived not far away from me, but still some distance away. It was an older, big wooden house from the 19th century. It was one of 3 houses in that neighborhood. It was 15 minutes by bike to go there, but most often my parents took me there by car. She had a younger sister named Hannah that often was hanging out with us. She was about 5 years younger than us. It was all right, I thought, because we was often given the responsibility to be babysitters for her, making us feel more like grown-ups. Also, she was quite easy to deal with, often playing by herself. She was very quiet and somehow felt very mature for her age. But the thing was that she had an imaginary friend called Peter. And I always thought that it was weird for her to have, just because she seemed so mature. She wasn't the kind of kid that liked to draw attention to her and never got herself into trouble. As I said, she was often by her own playing with Peter. And I guess we never thought it was strange, since kids sometimes tend to have imaginary friends. She could say things like, "Peter also wants to sit on the couch with us." And we somehow thought it was cute and acted along just to make her happy. This went on for a couple of months, and it was until one October night that our entire view of Peter changed. That night, me and Sarah were babysitters to her younger sister Hannah. As we had been many times before, her parents were away on a dinner party.
If your power goes out,
We ordered pizza, decided to see Paranormal Activity that her cousin had downloaded for her some week before. The movie was like 5, 6 months old at the time, and was a big thing that everyone talked about at that time. I remember it was windy outside. It always gets windy at autumn when it gets colder. You could hear the wind hurling and the trees cracking. Her sister Hannah was at her room, playing with some toys. It was pitch black outside, and it was soon time for Hannah to go to bed for the night. We had just left her room saying goodnight to each other, leaving the lights on as she always wanted. We were prepping in the living room with candles, snacks, and getting the movie to show on the TV screen. Back then, you had to connect the laptop and TV with a cable. Suddenly, we heard the porch door in the kitchen slammed open with a loud noise. We looked at each other with big eyes. We were scared. We rushed to the kitchen and shut the door. How could the door be open? It was a door handle that only can be opened while a small trigger button is pushed down. As soon as we shut the door, we heard Hannah scream from her room. We rushed up the stairs and she was completely devastated, crying and looking extremely scared. Peter turned off the lights, she said. I told him I didn't want to play, but he just didn't listen, she added. Both me and Sarah were shocked. What just happened? And was the occurrence with the porch door just a coincidence? We took Hannah down with us and watched cartoons instead. We were no longer in the mood for a horror movie. That night, we sat tight to each other in the couch, with the wind howling outside. The whole night, we had this feeling of not being alone in the house. Hannah fell asleep on the couch, and we did too eventually. We still heard of Peter after this, but I only got goosebumps thinking of him. The thought of him being real was horrifying. The day after, we told Sarah and Hannah's parents about our experience the night before. Her mother then told us she also had experienced strange things around the house. Except the fact that she had heard running footsteps in the house, she had also seen a boy with red hair multiple times running and peeking through the windows. But the thing is, there was no boy with red hair living in the neighborhood. Could that have been Peter?